Hi, I'm Lisa Bauer, and you are watching Dirty Dog Live Music, and today we're here with local legend Cootie Harris. That surprised you? Did you know people call you that, local legend?
I heard it before.
That's not your real name, though, and neither is Cootie.
That's right.
That's right. Can you tell us what your real name is?
Oh, boy. Actually, it's Saint Elmore.
Saint Elmore Harris.
Yes.
And from my understanding, you were one of 14 children?
That's right.
Is that right?
Yep.
And what number were you? Do you know?
I don't know exactly. Maybe about 7th or something like that.
7th?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You know, because there was twins in the family, you know.
Do you mind people knowing how old you are?
No, you can't hide it.
Yeah. This year you are 88.
That's right.
Correct? So that
I
means-
forgot for a moment. I started to say 87.
Well, that's all right. We'll go with 87. No, 88 years old.
88.
You were born in 1923.
That's right.
That's right.
February.
February 1923.
That's when Lincoln and George and all those people were born.
Actually, I looked that up, and Calvin Coolidge was the president then.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
Oh,
That's
I
right.
guess I didn't know that.
Yep. So can you tell me, what was it like for you growing up with 14 children in the house? What was that like for you?
I thought it was pretty neat. Well, you know, I didn't pay attention because most of the families were relatives. They came up from down south, and my relatives, cousins and all that, they all had big families. And we were in like a little big family community in Franklin.
Oh, in Franklin, yeah, I was going to ask you next, were you born in Meadville or Franklin?
Yeah, Franklin.
Franklin.
Yeah.
And who were your parents?
Pardon?
Your parents.
Well, I was named after my dad, naturally, Elmore, and my mother's name was Mary. And there was
Elmore Mary.
14 of us children.
14. That's
And his brothers, he had sisters, 3 sisters there that had families. And one of them had 18 children,
oh my goodness.
you know, so.
One of the reasons why I asked you a little bit about your background with your family and stuff was because I'm curious to know how old you were when you started with the drums and how that worked out for you being one of so many children.
Well, they're all musicians, every single
They
one
all
of them.
were musicians.
And I guess I started monkeying around with drums. My brother had a band, and I was a teenager, pretty young, maybe 13, 14 years of age. I started pounding on drums. But we had all of us took piano lessons from the Catholic nuns. They
You went to
taught the
Catholic
whole
school?
family piano lessons.
So you started off with piano then? And then
Oh
you
yeah,
worked your way into
we all
drums?
took piano. My mother played piano.
Did you sing also?
Sing. That's one thing we couldn't do. No, still can't sing.
No singers in your family then?
No, none.
No.
That's why in my band always had to hire singers.
What was the name of your band back then, do you remember?
Well, Cootie Harris.
Cootie Harris.
A Cootie Harris Quintet, and later Cootie Harris Odyssey. You know.
Do you remember your first gigs when you first went out to play, any of those?
Well, my first gigs, I was playing with my brother's band, Joe Harris, and he was quite a piano player. Incidentally, there was out of 14 people, I guess there must have been about 12 piano players, top-notch. And the sisters were taught by the Catholic nuns, and they all played classical music. Then my brother, Jody, come along, and he's the only one that didn't take lessons, and he became one of the best piano players of the era, you know.
That's pretty amazing.
And so we formed a band, and I played the drums in it.
What about when you left home? When you were probably about 18 years old? True, or were you a little bit younger maybe when you left home and went out on your own and started playing?
Don't you know, I don't remember, but I don't remember my age then, you know, but I stayed around this area for quite a while, you know. And
I looked it up, and right about the time you'd have been turned 18, World War II had started up. And there was an awful lot going on in our world back then. And one of the reasons why I want to bring this up, because there's so many young people today that don't really know the history, not just the history of music, but just our history in general. And so, you know, I wanted to maybe ask you a little bit about that. Did you go to Europe at the time? And
well, I was in the war, yes.
were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I played in Europe. I got very fortunate as far as music is concerned. I played in Germany, France, all over there. You know, I was fortunate to get with in special service and played a while, you know.
What branch of the service were you in?
Well, I was in quartermasters, but I was put on detached service for a while with special service, and I played music with bands in Europe in the service.
That must have been fun.
And it was fun till the bombs came.
Well, yeah. That's no fun.
No. Yeah.
And I heard you fought in some pretty big battles. Is that true?
Yeah, I was there, you know. I was on Normandy, D-Day, and then all through Germany, you know. I was in quartermasters.
Yeah,
you know, so.
That's pretty awesome, you know.
Well, it's good memories, some of it. Some of it's bad, you know.
Probably try to forget, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then when you finished with the war, you came back to the United States and you went to...
Well, I stayed down in France, and I played in a band in France and Germany. I played music over there for quite a while before I came back to the States.
Oh, so you just stayed there then?
Yeah, I stayed there for a while, yeah. So then eventually I came home. But I spent most of my time, well, I played in France for a while, and then I went into Germany and I stayed there and played around Mannheim, you know, things like that. I did a lot of interpreting in Germany and France, so I got along pretty good there.
And then when you came back, you went to New York and New Jersey, and you played for Birdland?
Well, I played at Birdland. That's
Birdland.
one big thing for me. You know, is be able to play in Birdland. You know, it's hard. Birdland was the jazz corner of the world, Broadway and 52nd Street, and it's the biggest thing in my musical career is being able to play in Birdland, because that's where most of the big names played. I wasn't a big name, but I happened to be playing with top bassist in the United States. He's in the top 4 or 5. The name is Gresham Monker.
Gresham Monker.
He was in the top 5 bassists in the world, and so I was fortunate enough to get in his band there. So
I should be able to YouTube him and probably find some interesting things on him.
Oh, you can find things about Gresham Monker.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be interesting for me to check that out.
He's one of the top bassists in the world at the time.
That's
I worked with Billie Holiday.
You worked with Billie. See, this is all stuff we need to know. So you played with Billie Holiday.
Well,
that's big. She still has.
Working at Birdland, I got a chance to play with a lot of big people.
Well, we want to hear
That's
some
the big
names.
thing, only big thing in my life. You know, so they always brought in. Well, there was another club in Meadville, in Newark, New Jersey, that I played in. That they always brought in a big name.
Okay.
You know, and I was in the house band there, so I got a chance to play with a lot of big names like that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because I was looking up on YouTube and I was looking at Bessie Smith and Billie Holiday and some of the other.
Bessie Smith was way before my time.
Oh yes. Yes.
But anyways, Billie Holiday, yeah, played behind her. And so I got a chance to play with a lot of big names like that because I played in the house band. Well, that happened here at Rudy's Blue Star in Meadville. That's,
Rudy's Blue Star.
Oh yeah, when I came here, I played in a place here on North Street called Rudy's Blue Star. Do you remember that? You're too young. Do you remember?
No.
Okay, they had I got my first job playing here on salary at a place in Meadville called Rudy's Blue Star. It was on North Street. And they brought in a lot of names, you know, and they had 4 shows. You never heard of it? No. How about that? I worked there over 3 years on salary.
See, this is the reason why we wanted to talk to you today. So,
Yeah, that was a big thing. And they had name entertainers come there, and big shows every week.
They did that at Conant Lake Park too, many years ago.
But not like Rudy's Blue Star. It was right there on North Street, and these names came in, and there's a couple that got pretty big, and I just can't think of them now, you know. But anyways, it was a big thing then.
Yeah, sure.
It was just right up on North Street, a nightclub.
Yeah, you know, the more you talk, the more memories that will inspire.
Yeah, that kept me alive for quite a while. I had my farm out there in Sagertown, and I was on salary.
You mentioned salary. What was salary like back then?
Well, it wasn't really big, but it was sufficient, you know.
Right. Well, sure.
It kept me alive.
Well, just even today, by comparison, you know, the guys are playing, and it's like, well, you know, it's enough to get us there with gas.
I played 6 nights a week, and then we had break during the summer months, you know. And I learned a lot about playing floor shows there. You know, I had played shows in New York and things, but not like at Rudy's Blue Star here in Meadville, because every week they had a new show come in, you know, and these people were traveling from different areas. So I learned to play shows, so it's a big thing in my life. It's a different ball game playing shows.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I heard one of your favorite songs is the Lullaby of Birdland. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. Well, it brings back memory. We had to play that a lot.
Actually, we have some film of you playing the Lullaby of Birdland at Meadville Council of the Arts Jazz Jam.
Oh, yeah. Ever since I mentioned that I played at Birdland, they always asked me to play the Lullaby of Birdland on the drums. Can you imagine that?
So I think we're going to break away and go listen to that right now, and then we'll come back.
We want to invite the master up here right now, Cootie Harris. Come on, Cootie. You're not getting any younger. We're going to bring Cootie up on stage. George, we need you on this one, too. We're going to do Cootie's favorite song. He used to play this all the time at Birdland, right? Lullaby of Birdland. That's his favorite song. I know he can play it. lullaby of birdland, that's what I always hear when you sigh. Never in a wordland could there be words to reveal in a word how I feel. Have you ever seen two turtle doves, bill and coo, when they love? That's the kind of magic music we make with our lips when we kiss. And as if we be on well alone, she really knows how to cry. That's why I cry on my pillow. If you would tell me farewell and goodbye, lullaby of birdland, whisper low, kiss me sweet, and then we'll go flying high in birdland, high in the sky up above. We're in love, lullaby of birdland, you only one.
George Shearing was just passed away recently, and that was "Lullaby of Birdland" was one of his songs. You did not know him, is that correct?
No.
But
I had talked to him, though, when he was on stage. In Newark, I went back once and talked to him backstage. You know, he was blind.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
The reason why Lullaby of Birdland, you know, I played Birdland. And then when I came back here to Meadville, I opened a club up on Croc Road, and it was called Little Birdland.
Oh, my.
And so we had live music in there, and my band was playing in there, and so it was a pretty big thing, you know. Yeah. But the club was called Little Birdland.
Who were some of your influences during that time? Some of your other influences that...
Well, I like Count Basie.
Yes.
George Shearing.
Yes.
And the drummers, Joe Jones and Buddy Rich.
Buddy Rich, I was going to say Buddy Rich, and very, very popular then.
Well, yeah, you don't idolize him. And where do you think I met him?
Buddy Rich? You met Buddy Rich?
Yeah.
Let me think. Erie. No?
Meadville.
In Meadville?
That's right.
Well, where was he in Meadville?
Right upstairs.
At the Academy Theater. We were at the Academy Theater, by the way. So.
Yeah. So I met Buddy Rich right here.
Did he play the drums then? Was he here performing?
His band was here. And every once in a while they'd bring in a band here. And Buddy Rich was playing, and I met him, and no, I met him in New York. And I went backstage here and told him, I said, I met you in New York.
Okay, so you had met him previously and then saw him again playing here. Okay.
Yeah. But that's where I met him, in New York. But he was playing right in this theater.
And so he was one of your big inspirations? He was a big inspiration for you at the time?
Of course. Yeah, he's my favorite drummer, him and one called Joe Jones.
Joe Jones.
He used to be with Count Basie.
Okay. Gene Krupa?
Oh, I idolized him too at one time, you know.
Yeah.
I met him too.
Okay.
Yeah. I met him a couple times in New York.
Yeah, he was real.
But Buddy Rich, I guess he was a master in my eyesight, you know.
So you've played with some other people as well.
Well, a few.
A few, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one time I saw you at the downtown mall and you told me a really fun story about the Eagles.
Oh.
Ah, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's a big rock group, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. They were here in Meadville. Yeah.
You can tell that story if you want. That's a great
I can't
story.
remember it.
You had told me that they had, you had invited them to your house. Where
Yeah,
your,
they
your
did come
apartment
to
where
my
you're-
house.
and they
I
came.
lived on Terrace Street. And the Eagles came over there, and the kids from the college crowded around, you know.
And you had a jam session right in your apartment.
Yeah, right in my apartment they jammed with my band. You got good memory.
Ah, I do, I remember.
The Eagles, yeah.
Yeah, we were in.
I forgot about that.
We're in the, well, you know, you have a lot of ground to cover, Cootie.
Yeah.
There's 88 years of memories there. And
I lived in one of those big houses on Terrace Street at the time, and there was a lot of college people living, Allegheny people living in the same house. You know, they rented out the place. And I had a large living room, and I invited the Eagles over to play. And they jammed with my band, you know, so it was a big thing.
yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting,
Yeah.
you know.
You play the vibes.
Yeah, I try.
A lot of people don't know what the vibes are. Would you tell us what are the vibes?
You know, a xylophone. It's not electric. And then Lionel Hampton came up with the idea. I mean, he's one of the forerunner. And that they started the electric with metal. The same principle as the xylophones, only it's all metal and it's electric with the tubes on it. And that's the difference. It's just an electric xylophone.
Right, and they vibrate more.
Yeah.
And that's how they got the name the vibes.
Vibes, yeah.
The vibes from the vibration.
Yeah.
So in addition to being a drummer, you also play the vibes.
You know,
and
it's part of the
piano.
percussion thing, you know, xylophones, and the notations are the same. But you could sustain notes on the vibraphones, you know, with they're metal, and the xylophone has wooden things.
We have a picture of you playing.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, right there. And that was for the...
That was my quintet. That's the one that played the inaugural ball for Governor Schaefer.
For Governor Schaefer's inaugural ball, correct?
That's Cootie Harris there.
Yeah, we know Cootie Harris. Look how young.
This is Jim Boyd. He's my vocalist.
Okay.
Then he played the drums if I played the vibes. And this Wade Manning, Eddie Lestrick. This is a school teacher from Sharon, Joe Estock.
Joe Estock.
Along with Lester Lanning. Lester Lanning was a big society orchestra.
Local or?
No, big name.
Oh, okay.
With movies and all of that. Lester Lanning, he's a big society band in the United States. And he was playing the inaugural ball, and we played. I don't think he wanted us up there, but.
That's pretty fun. You've had quite a few accomplishments in your life. One of them was winning the Raymond P. Schaefer Award for Community Service in 2008. And you also carried the Olympic torch. Quite a spell.
Yeah, I prize that. I should have brought the torch.
Yeah, you still have it?
Oh yeah, it sits in my living room.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, I still have it.
And you were a drum instructor for many years.
Yeah, I still try to instruct. I taught a lot of students. I taught them Meadville High School band students, Sagertown, and most of the high school students around.
You are also a musical therapist.
That's what I was at Polk.
At Polk.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about how that worked? Musical therapy?
People, there's some things you can't teach people, but all people relate to music. And so I could reach them where the other therapists may not be able to reach them because, you know, they have nothing to reach them with. And with the music, you know, if I can get them to clap, you know, to the music, most time, everybody can, whether they're on the beat or not, they can feel the music. And so doing music therapy at Polk, I could reach them. And then after you get them to, this is what I use, a tool like this, they go like that. That's as much as they could do. And then later they can go a little bit longer. And my job was to get their attention span, you know. And if I get their attention span, and then if they can do this for 1 minute, now the special ed teachers can teach them. They can't be taught anything unless you have an attention span. Music was a tool to get their attention span. Some of them just go like that, you know. And so if I can get them to go just a little while, you know, then they're ready to,
They're ready
for
to
the
learn.
special ed teachers. You know,
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that was my job. And it's very important. Everybody could relate to music, you know, even if they would only go like that and put their hands down. So eventually, they get longer, and then I have their attention. Now you can teach them other things, you know.
You've also devoted your life to the martial arts.
Oh yeah.
When did you start that? Was that something that was ongoing?
Well, I was into boxing, you know.
Boxing too?
Well, the thing is that my older brothers, they were boxers, you know, and so as a kid, I had gloves on, you know. And then I got into Kung Fu at a very, very early age, you know, and so I stuck with that. And now I'm teaching Tai Chi, which is it's a system of Kung Fu. Kung Fu only means expertise through discipline. That's what it means. It doesn't mean fighting. And anytime anybody study anything, and when you work at it, it's Kung Fu. And I didn't learn that until I went to China. And, you know, and so here, anything that you work at, it's work, and you work at it, that's Kung Fu. Expertise through self-discipline, you know. So.